Jen here from Good Morning Miss Foster. I'm doing a quick takeover just to talk about my journey so far doing the secrets. So before I started, like as soon as I got the package that Katie sent me when I was in the UK, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. This makes total sense. Like the way that we teach phonics does not make any sense. How can we just expect them to just know it through rote? Because the English language is so crazy. And I remember showing it to my mother-in-law, who was a head teacher for years and years, and she was like, wow, this is really special. And I was like, I know, I can't believe like I've just come across it. So I was so excited, but I think my first initial thing that was holding me back was like, okay, I'm midway through my year, so how do I suddenly just say to my kids like, okay, I didn't tell you this, you've been with me for 4 months now, but there's some secrets. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I was quite worried about how I was going to sell it and if they were going to pick up what I'm selling, you know, they were going to buy what I'm selling. And also I was thinking a lot about how the secrets, which makes sense, is not taught in a discrete subject. It's taught throughout the day through every opportunity possible. So that is a huge change for me. So I was definitely concerned about that as well. But Katie, I spoke to Katie about it, and Katie was like, look, just jump straight in. As soon as you jump, things will make sense and the kids will do most of the work for you. So I did. The first thing I did is I set up 2 washing lines, which I'll try and show in one of these posts if you haven't seen already. And I started putting the decorative posters up. And kids being kids were like, what you got going on up there? Hey, what's this? What's this, lady? You haven't spoken to us about this. I was like, oh, no, I can't tell you about that yet. It's a secret. You're not ready yet. And they were like, I'm sorry, what? And then I got the small secret cards, and I used blue tack and I stuck them all over my board. And I did this over the course of about 2 or 3 days. So then I was talking to Katie about like how I can just jump right in. She was like, Jen, just do it, just jump right in. And I was like, I don't know why, I just felt really nervous. I felt like they'd be like, what are you talking about? You've never mentioned these secrets before. I just thought they would just call me out. And she was like, well, one of the best ways that I do it is by having the date on the board. And you read the date and then you think, in every single date, there's always a secret there. So you have the opportunity to be like, isn't it weird how these letters do this? And then you can bring up the secrets. So I was like, okay. So the first secret I ever did was Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. And no, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Sorry, I forgot then. I was like, was it Wednesday? It doesn't matter because the sound was A. And I was saying, okay, this is the day. And then I said, isn't it weird, like, what is this sound pointing to the A? And they were like, ah. And I was like, well, and what's this sound pointing to the Y? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, but isn't that weird? Because we don't say Tuesday, do we? And they were like, no. And I was like, look, I've been waiting, guys, and I think you're ready. There's a reason these letters aren't acting like you think they would. And they were like, what? There's a secret to it. Listen, we have to keep it between us. And they were just like, what? And I was like, remember when I was hanging these? And then they saw AY and EY, and they were like, what? Tell us. And they were so into it, and I was like, right, let's do this damn thing. Once I taught the first one, literally exactly like Katie said, my kids were noticing the secrets so much in anything that was on my PowerPoint, in anything that they saw, they said, oh, there's a...
And I think I mentioned this in the other Q&A, is in looking at the calendar, and it was the EYAY secret that goes A, and it was in the word day. And initially, I know she had put the AY secret picture up in the Q&A video, and then the kids she was telling the secret about AY. Go ahead and tell the whole secret. Give them everything. As a matter of fact, I'm going to call this scooping out the secret. Always scoop out the whole secret, because if you're going to tell it, you might as well tell the whole entire thing, because it's only one learning curve. It's one step in the dance. So if they know EY, AY are just too cool and they always stick up their thumbs and go, A, it's okay that right now they only need that to attack the word day or Thursday, because they'll have the EY in their back pocket for other words like they. Now, just in case you're thinking like a teacher, aka like a waitress, and you're thinking, no, I think it's really better to split this up. I think that's too many skills to put all together. These aren't skills. These are behaviors. Behaviors are best understood in relation to other behaviors. These are characters, they're personalities. So think about Cinderella or Snow White. Would you just read the first part of Snow White or Cinderella and then hold the second part off until the next day so that it's not too much for kids to take in? No, it would actually make it much harder, because the easiest way to understand a story is in relation to its parts. Meaning, the best way to understand how sweet and wonderful Cinderella is to juxtapose her behaviors with her mean and evil stepsisters. So having them in totality, infused together, is what really deepens your understanding. Story is in relation to its parts. Meaning, the best way to understand how sweet and wonderful Cinderella is to juxtapose her behaviors with her mean and evil stepsisters. So having them in totality, infused together, is what really deepens your understanding and your awareness and your ownership of what's happening, the reason, the method for the madness. So the secrets are the same thing. It's one connected whole that you want to share intact. And just like kids have an easy recall of other children's behavior and other kids' business, who behaves, who doesn't behave, who can sit by who's not allowed to sit by who always behaves in class, but then when they go out in the hallway, they misbehave, who is really sweet when the teacher's here, but gets really rascally when the sub is here. Kids have multi-layered memories when it comes to these social emotional experiences and relationships. That's actually how the brain learns best, as a multiprocessor, when it's dealing with things that are naturally understood. So therefore, the more of a three-dimensional picture we can paint, the better. So when you scoop out the whole secret, it means tell the whole thing, show the whole thing, share the whole thing, and pattern out what it is, even though the goal of the game was to grab that hammer to pound in that nail. Maybe they don't need the back of the hammer right now to pull the nail back out, but it's nice to know what the whole hammer is and what it has to offer and where it's going to live on the wall so that you can get to it later when you need it.
Correct. Then they started referencing the posters. This was just from one secret. They started referencing the posters on the washing lines, and they started looking at the ones on the board, and I could hear them saying it, going, A, going over the first secret that we'd done, and they were so hungry for another. So the next one that I did was, and what I tried to do is I tried to think about the lesson that I was teaching and what words might be on the board. So if I was going to be teaching the 3 bears or the 3 little pigs, and I was trying to look at different sounds that would come up organically in the lesson, and then pinpoint, you know what guys, I think you're ready for another secret, and kind of do it that way. I also still have phonics slots, so that's something I can't change because of my school. So I'm teaching a secret in my slots there as well. So the next one I did was OU, OW, ow! And what I loved about this is, first of all, they were so excited for me teaching them a secret. And also, they came up with the sound themselves. I literally said to them, like, I told them the story, OU and OW, they're always play fighting, like they're always trying to look sneaky, you know, at the back of the line, and like they're doing a little elbow here, a little kick here, a little push here, but you know what, someone gets hurt, like they always get hurt. And what sound happens when we got hurt? And they all just went, ow, and they gave me that sound, and I was like, yes babies, ow, you can do it, you can do it. Go on, Amara. Fantastic. Can anyone spell loud for me? with this one.
So let's apply the scooping out the secret and get every last drop out of the bowl with that OUOW example. When Jen gave the OUOW secret to the kids, she told them about how OU and OW were played really rough, and somebody always gets hurt and says, "Ow!" But flying overhead of OW is Superhero O, because he is their all-time favorite superhero ever. And if he ever flies by, they will stop dead in their tracks, stop whatever they're doing, and go, "Oh, oh, 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 oh," because they love him. He is their idol. Now, what that does is it gives kids a default for another sound that will come in very handy for that OW, which is O, like in the word slow, blow, flow. So kids need that access, and it lends itself perfectly to the OUOW secret. It's part of the OU secret. So kill as many birds with one stone as you can. Get the whole secret out in one swoop by giving them access to all of that intact as you tell that OUOW secret.
I also did short A and long A, aka superhero A and lazy A. And when I spoke to Katie about it, she just said, look, just go. There's no particular order. Just do it. And she was like, come on. But me being my rigid phonics self, I was like, I kind of need more order. So she was like, look, why don't you start with the superhero vowels? And then she said mummy E and sneaky Y. That's a good place to start. So I was like, okay. So I did do superhero A last week, and they loved it. And it's almost like it's already in their brain to pick up. Because
that I love that you just jumped in. You did exactly what I said, which is not pay attention to whether it's the beginning of the year, the middle of the year. I don't care if it's the end of the year. If you have a way to make something make sense and give them a piece of the code that they didn't have last week, that they can then take with them and use at the very next opportunity, do it. If it's the last day of school, still go ahead and do it. When you jump in, as far as the order of the secrets go, I remember that Jen mentioned that I'd said there's no order. There is an underlying method to the madness order. Now, when I say that, I don't mean program, I don't mean scripted, I don't mean hold this one back until you're right. But there is an awareness of what's most needed that you're going to teach first. For example, vowels. Those are high leverage phonics skills. Kids need those first and foremost. Sneaky Y is a secret that comes in awfully handy. So use your judgment to give them what they need most first.
You'll see the video soon. And I was literally and guess what? When superhero A is feeling a bit tired, a bit lazy, superhero A just likes to kick back and eat his favorite fruit. And they were just like, apples. I was like, yeah. It's apples, well done. Do you want to finish the story for me? So, yeah, it's they pick it up so quickly, and then they start seeing the patterns so quickly. They couldn't, this was a very low ability group, very EAL, and they couldn't really think of lots of different words, but what they could do is, because I have all of the children's names displayed, they could identify whether it was a superhero A or a lazy A in the children's names. And I thought that was amazing that they were picking it up in the best way that they could. So that was really great. So I'll show you a sneaky peek of that as well. Is it being lazy or a superhero? Lazy. Yeah, it's being lazy, Sacco. You need to tell your A off and say, hey, you're being so lazy. Addy, well done. Addy.
Now, a quick comment that I want to make here is after you've tossed out those superhero vowels, keep in mind you're leaving them holding a bag, because you've basically told them that superhero vowels can either use their superpowers or they can be short and lazy, but you didn't tell them which way they're going to go in a word. So that means every time they see a vowel, it could be long and say its name, or it could be short and lazy. And kids are left kind of with a wild goose chase on their hands unless you clear it up. That should be the first logical question that a pattern making machine, aka your brain, has, which is, if it can do this and it can do that, how do I know which way to go whenever I see it in a word? So Mommy E works in perfect tandem with those superhero vowels. And I like to break it up with lunch. So I like to tell the story about the superhero vowels before lunch and let them know that I can't tell them the secret about how to know which sound they're going to make until after lunch. And then after lunch, I let them in on Mommy E and the babysitter vowels. Another example of why we want to scoop out the secret with those superhero vowels. That is one secret that just happens to have 5 little characters inside of it. So when I normally will tell it, I will just let the kids know that, we have superheroes in our classroom. They live here. And this is probably the biggest secret of all, guys. And I need to tell you because you live here too. This is your classroom. So you kind of need to know there are 5 superheroes that are here too all the time. And I need to let you know who they are and what they do so that you know what to expect. And that way you've set the tone for all of those vowels, all of which they're going to need equally and simultaneously throughout the day. So that way you've laid the foundation for the cause effect of the relationship, which is they have a superpower, but they also have short and lazy disguise. And then you can just go ahead and introduce them one at a time, but it's all in one lesson. And then you've got lots of times to spiral into the lesson again as you use that to read and write words.
If you guys find that helpful, just seeing for me in practice what it was like getting started and getting going with the secrets and how it's been so far, I'm going to do a takeover every week just to have a little lowdown, and I'll be adding videos every week so you can check out on my gram as well. And yeah, let me and Katie know anything you have questions still about or you'd love to know more about, and we'll make sure we'll cover it. Okay, have a lovely rest of your day.
That was such a treat, getting to not only see what you were doing in action in the classroom, but also to hear what you were thinking and as your wheels were spinning about what you were going to do, why you were going to do it, what caused you to want to do it, and how you meshed together what I said to kind of make those decisions along the way. That is absolutely perfect. That's the kind of thinking through things that really are going to help you take the secrets all the way and make them your own and really milk their value through the instructional day. And I think that's what I really liked the most about those 2 things I liked the most. One is the thinking of why am I doing what I'm doing and what do I need to do it with that's going to get me from point A to point B. So I loved seeing you think through that and talk through that thinking process. And then I really loved seeing how you brought your creativity and your enthusiasm into each secret to kind of tell it your own way and make it your own so that the kids felt encouraged to do exactly the same as they make them their own and use them as tools to read and write with. So to wrap this up and get Jen off and running and just powering up what she's already doing to make it bigger, stronger, better, and faster, just kind of keep these 3 things in mind. Put every poster up, which Jen did, so that you are ready to just jump in like she did, because that is what really propels your momentum, is having all those secrets up so that once you start that ball rolling, kids know where that ball's headed and they can find lots of other balls along the way to call you on the carpet for what they need when they need it. Make it your own, so don't ever feel like you've got to run back to your book to know how to tell the secret. Look at it, get the gist of it from the picture. You've already read through that section quickly enough to know the secrets a little, and then make it your own. Tell it your own way, and let the kids feel comfortable doing the same. And the last thing is scoop out the whole secret. Why tell a little bit of a secret when you could tell the whole thing? Give them the whole access to the secret so they can really milk out all that instructional value from it.